Time now for the press review, and Solange Moujon joins us. Good to see you, Solange.
Hi, Monty.
So you're starting off with this story about the Texas anti-abortion law. This is very restrictive, isn't it?
Yeah, and the Supreme Court just ruled 5-4 not to intervene with this law and to let it stand. This and the law itself, well, it's sending shockwaves across the U.S. press. As the Houston Chronicle tells us, doctors fear that the women they help and treat will, because of the law, be turned away from abortion clinics. Called Senate Bill 8, the law says that as soon as a heartbeat can be detected, that's about 2 weeks from a last missed period, well, abortion becomes illegal. Now, The Atlantic, it takes note of what it calls, quote, the deviousness of this so-called heartbeat bill, saying it bans abortions without actually banning them. Now, why does it not actually ban abortions? Well, that would not stand up in the courts. And the New York Times notes that there is, quote unquote, a sinister brilliance to how this law is designed. And that what is most shocking for them is that the Supreme Court is not the fact that the Supreme Court is basically making Roe versus Wade useless, or the fact that abortions have become functionally illegal in Texas, but that those enforcing the ban, the law, as the law stipulates, will be everyday citizens, a mechanism that allows for the law to be essentially, the Times says, be unchallengeable in the courts.
And that's 6 weeks, so that's even before most women realize they're pregnant.
Exactly.
Well, so moving on to the state of emergency declared in New York City, the remnants of Hurricane Ida, they've even shut down the subway system.
Yeah, it is wet and dangerous in the Big Apple right now. As New York Magazine notes on its site, historic rainfall is coming down, and this could be the city's worst natural disaster since 2012's Superstorm Sandy. Now, if this seems like deja vu to you, it is in a way. The UN noted yesterday in a report that weather-related disasters have surged fivefold, and that's the terrifying side. But there is a silver lining. UN News tells us that the report found that early warning systems are indeed saving lives. However, Wired says that climate change, which is making such natural disasters more intense, is also making it harder to predict them, and specifically how intense they will get. Which means the site says that while warning systems do work and may work, it is getting harder to issue them early enough, thereby giving people enough time to escape.
So switching gears, today marks the start of a new school year here in France.
Yeah, as 12 million students head back to the classroom in France, Libération tells us that this is a major test for students, teachers, and politicians alike as they grapple with new coronavirus protocols. And the paper says that parents, well, they're grumbling and quite fearful about these COVID guidelines in schools. Some feel that the rules are too strict. Others say that not enough is being done. But at least the kids are happy. Le Parisien interviewed a slew of children who said that they just can't wait to see their friends again. And many actually expressed the wish and a deep wish to be able one day soon, hopefully, see the entire faces of their teachers again.
Yeah, after all this time, it's nice to sort of get back. So it's not just the start of a new school year here in France, it's also sort of a new beginning politically in Europe.
Yeah, this week also in many ways is la rentrée, the return to work for many EU lawmakers. And Politico has brought together a series of articles about how, in their view, European lawmakers are bracing for an anxious autumn, be it in regard to Afghan refugees, the upcoming German election, gearing up for the COP26 climate summit, and, of course, in regard to the coronavirus.
So we have next week's G20 meeting in Italy, and of course, one of the big issues they'll be discussing is the coronavirus.
Yeah, and the pleas for action, well, they're already popping up in the press. Tony Blair, the former British Prime Minister, has penned an opinion piece in the New York Times asking for world leaders to boost travel. To do so, he argues that there needs to be a cooperative global health pass, one that takes into account WHO-approved vaccines. But this proposal would make at least one industry quite grumbly, unhappy, and that's travel agencies. The Wall Street Journal tells us that the travel agent sector is actually seeing a resurgence, with many travelers looking to agents now to help them navigate the very many and different and complicated COVID travel rules.
Well, so switching gears again, I understand you have some astonishing science news about the brain.
Yeah, when I initially saw this article, I said, wow, that's cool. But then I actually read a bit further, and it's quite horrifying as well. It's about neurotechnology and how machines, Politico tells us, can directly interact with neurons. That's the cool part. The field could be able to cure certain illnesses, but here comes the with the help of AI, it could soon potentially read our thoughts and be used by militaries and governments. So Politico tells us that scientists have just issued another warning cry to, quote, protect the last frontier, our brains.
Wow, it's a brave new world. On a lighter note, you've also found some science news about the brain of man's best friend.
Yes, this is for all those dog lovers out there. The Guardian tells us a new study has found that dogs may be smarter than we thought. They are able, the scientists found, to distinguish between deliberate and accidental human behavior. In essence, if you drop that doggy treat by accident, they will know it. They will know it was not intentional. And while this may not seem like a big step for mankind, the study does add a bit of credibility to those who feel that their dog can indeed read their minds.
Well, and I think some dogs are just smarter than others.
Oh, for sure.
Like mine, for example, is very smart. Okay.
Okay.
Solange, thanks a lot for that. And for more world headlines, you can check out our website. It's france24.com/en.